This is the instruction video that will lead you through the R10 quad rotor kit build. If you need any further information or help, look at our other videos at www.uair.co. Following our previous video, you should have already loaded code onto Thalamus, as shown in our Thalamus code loading video. It's also worth putting your battery on charge so you can immediately start flying the R10 after it is assembled. If you need any help, use our battery charging video. Okay, let's get started. First, open the Lycra pack. Lay the Lycra down on a flat, hard surface. UAir logos pointing up. Pull the little Velcro ovals apart, but leave the protective backing on them. Then peel the loop side off the transparent backing. Stick it onto the Lycra as shown here. It is very important that you press very firmly. Use a spoon if necessary. The adhesive is pressure activated, so if you don't press hard enough, the Velcro will fall off the Lycra. Repeat for the other 3 Lycra pieces. Turn the Lycra over, logos pointing down. Now peel the protective backing off the hook side and stick it on the Lycra as shown. Again, it is very important you press firmly, otherwise the tabs will come unstuck. On the back of the battery, stick the adhesive loop Velcro piece that is in the Thalamus mounting pack. Again, ensure you press firmly. This adhesive is also pressure activated. The pins on the ultrasound module so they don't get in the way during the final assembly. Push the cable on as shown, and bend the connector away from the board so that the pins are straight. It should now be possible to push the connector even further onto the pins, but this is not vital. Take Thalamus out of its anti-static bag and carefully get the parts shown here out of the Thalamus mounting pack. Hook Velcro strip must be pressed very firmly onto the battery mounting pack, as its adhesive is pressure activated. Make sure you don't obscure the holes for the fastening pins with the Velcro. Make sure you thread the Velcro straps through as shown. Doesn't matter whether they are hook or loop in. If you find it difficult to push the fasteners through the holes on the mount, use a flat surface. Be careful not to stab your fingers when pushing components onto the fasteners. Don't forget the Lycra piece. Make sure it is in the right orientation as shown here. You will need to stretch it to help align the holes with the fasteners. Make sure the sticky rubber dampers are settled well into the frames before gently pushing the mount and the fasteners through. Fastening the landing gear on is also very simple. Make sure you tighten them up well, but not so much that you can crack the plastic. It is absolutely vital that you copy the orientations correctly. When you start putting the frame together, it is a bit of a juggling act. Use a table to help support the frame parts as you screw the first motor in. Place the motors so that the wires point roughly towards the center of the quad, and you can see all of the M3 holes from beneath, unobscured by the frame. The motor plate has a tiny slot in the middle. This must line up with the main diagonal frame. Check to see if you can see the motor holes through the holes in the plate. If you can't, flip it over, keeping the slot aligned with the main frame piece. And now you should see that the holes are aligned. You may find you need to wiggle things a little bit to make it all slot together. Tighten the motor bolts up pretty tight. You don't want those things vibrating around too much in the flight. It's also worth checking these again after the first flight or two, just to make sure that they're still tight. Use the double-sided sticky pad and the short Velcro strap to secure the orange receiver. Make all the connections as shown. You find you may not be able to copy all the wiring paths directly. We leave it up to you to decide. Some people like to make it all neat, and some people just want to get it assembled as fast as possible. You do want to make sure that there are no cables dangling underneath the ultrasound module. Remember, do not stretch any cables tight across any of the aluminum edges. If you find you have to, use some adhesive tape to wrap around the cable and protect it from chafing. We've paused especially long over the ESC to motor wires. Make sure you copy the orientations exactly. If you are a telemetry pack user, you'll now want to check out the location of the GPS antenna and hypo in the telemetry pack video. If you are a standard user, wrap the thick Velcro strap nice and tightly around the center of the quad. Now use the thin Velcro strap to wrap around again, and also around the ultrasound module. Make sure it's pointing down straight and not touching the frame at all. Plug the ultrasound wire into thalamus as shown. When wrapping the Lycra around, you may find it helps to gently bend the ultrasound pins on thalamus upwards too. Now find the pre-props video and do some safety checks before you put the props on.